we've officially got one out called Espresso Cell, so it's official.
We can say that.
We can say it.
We can totally say that.
Yeah. And if you haven't done, subscribe to it. I'm hoping we're on iTunes by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let us know your thoughts, because we'd love to know, because this is all for the people.
Yes. The crew.
Yeah, and today we are going to be chatting about our businesses. Our little babies.
So, Siobhan.
Oh, you're starting?
No. Well, you can start.
No,
No, you go.
So.
Yes.
Tom.
Mm-hmm.
How is mindmate counselling going?
Mindmate counselling is going really well.
Yes.
I'm really loving it. It's very fulfilling, and I love the fact that we live in an incredible world now that, you know, the internet has just changed everything.
I know, you're doing it all virtual.
Yeah, it's all virtual. It's completely online. Most of the fellas that I'm working with at the moment are from the UK.
So good. Best crew.
Yes, well, there you go. True. I'm absolutely loving it. But what I really find, which is interesting, is like I'm trying to target a specific market of men that are kind of like, if they were depressed or going through something like severe, they're kind of at the other end of that now, where they want to find, you know, a mission. They want to find a purpose to attach themselves to now. Because, you know, depression, when someone's going through something really severe, and you and I have studied trauma, PTSD, depression relentlessly, that's a bit of a different beast, you know. And when I was, and we've worked with people that have, that are going through that sort of stuff, especially with the shed. You work with people like that, you know. But I wanted to target that kind of person because I didn't realise it at the time, but I was very fascinated in entrepreneurship, you know, because I was doing that sort of stuff as well. I was trying to build a business. And as I was working with a lot of the fellas, still am working with a lot of the fellas, a lot of them, you know, have now kind of like, to use a cliche, found themselves, they want to attach themselves to a mission and eliminate finally those anxious thoughts for good. And a lot of them are moving into entrepreneurship. So
good.
It's awesome because we live in a world where you actually can now.
You can these days.
You know, and anyway, what I have started to think about now is why not make mindmate counselling mindmate consulting, and that will then incorporate some of the entrepreneurial skills I've learnt along the way too. So it would be like counselling, business development, and exercise nutrition from our experiences, CrossFit coaches, for as long as we did. Because then that way it's more well-rounded. I just love solving problems. It's so bloody fun.
And you've been helping them with their like business stuff as well. So it's
really
good.
Yeah, half of it's been, you know, psychology related, and the other half's pretty much been business related.
You might
so
as well do both.
Switch it up and do that, you know. Yeah. So I'm loving it. It's really fun, and I get to write my books every morning, which is fun.
I know.
Hopefully the second book will be out now. Hopefully in about a year's time, I would say.
We can all put the pressure on there.
Yes.
What's the book going to be called?
Life Behind the Curtain, Cultivating Conscious Awareness. So it's like taking someone through an ego death, an ego transformation, and an ego rebirth, which basically means like your identity is no longer serving you, or something changes in your life so dramatically that you can't be that person anymore. And the anecdote that I give is, for example, like a lovely, beloved mother of two who finds her husband cheating on her, and what I mean that you can't be that person anymore. Who she was a happily married wife, and then obviously she found out that that's not the case, so her ego dies in that moment, and then is transformed, and then is obviously moves through a rebirth of becoming someone else. And there's a whole heap of neuroscience in it, and heaps of philosophy and spirituality.
Heaps of mind geeking out.
Yes, it's a super deep book, but it's my baby, and I bore the shit out of you talking about it.
I know. I'm like this is where we're not the same, so I'm like, tell me directly exactly what you want, or exactly what that means, in no roundabout way whatsoever. And Tom likes to explore it and explain and dive in. I'm like, so that just means what?
So she
in
cried.
my words, yeah. So she's upset.
Yes, it's true. But anyway, that stuff, the stuff that I learn when I'm like studying for the book, is good for, you know, because we're both fascinated by the mind.
Yeah.
We love the mind, and you literally work all day, every day with trauma clients, people that are moving through trauma.
Yeah.
Actually, before you move into, I know this is a business podcast, but how about we talk about trauma?
Yeah.
Do you want it?
Sure. What do you want to talk about? I'm still reading my book though.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be better when I finish the book because I don't want you to tell me what's in that book.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's a good book.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
let's wait till I finish the book and then we can dive into it because then I'll be like geeking out on it.
Can't wait to talk about it.
I know.
Okay. All right. Well, what's going on with the shed at the moment then, Bonnie?
Everything. I got my gate.
Yes.
I never thought I'd be
That's
emotional
massive.
about a fucking gate, but I was.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good. So thanks to Adrian for doing that.
Yes.
And the shed is so good. I'm just like absolutely frothing on the people that come in. I've been very lucky and they're all bloody amazing. And just everyone that obviously steps in there, like breath work is work. It's hard. So everyone that comes in and just has the best time ever, and there always seems to be like a theme that's going on. I'm not sure what the energetic thing is with that. Like this week was like we were talking about the love languages, and that happened a lot. And last week it was like self-love stuff, and there always seems to be like a theme of the week. I feel like I should maybe like incorporate that into the class, like the weekly classes, because it's almost just let it do itself. But yeah, it's going really good, and I'm thinking about doing memberships, so that'll be fun.
You're gonna do memberships, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm kind of like on the brink of it, but yeah, I think I will.
Because it's good. Because it's a cheaper option for people that want to come more than once a week and really get into it. Because that's the thing about breathwork is that, you know, it's so congruent with releasing trauma, releasing stuck energy, as you would say, and deconditioning those patterns of beliefs.
Shit.
Yeah, exactly. That have been blocked up for years and years and years. But it's also about weekly exfoliation.
Oh yeah.
As you say.
Well, that's what
explain that. What does that mean?
Well, I just like to get out of my head once a week. I like to feel really good, and it's kind of like a reset for me. Like it's a huge reset, and most people that are coming like once a week because it's just like their way of like feeling good and stuff. So yeah. Yeah,
it's so good. We this is going into a little bit of the trauma stuff, which is in that book. The body keeps the score, by the way. I'm not giving anything away because this is what we talk about all the time, but we live in such a fast, distracted world in this day and age, and we can have built up stress, residual stress from the day, from the week, and if we don't give ourselves time to let that move through the body physiologically through the breath, or just sit with it through a meditation. Exactly. We don't like integrate it into our lives, you know, that can stay in us. And it can have major adverse effects, ripple effects down the line. And a very, very easy example of this is like, let's say I'm driving in my car on my way to work in the morning, and then someone pulls in front of me really fast, and I get really, really afraid because obviously, like, I could die. Like, that would freak me out. Yeah. And then all of that fear stays in my body in preparation for fight or flight mode. But then instead of like using it, fight or flight, I'm like, because he's already driven off, so I can't be like, hey, you, or whatever. I'm just like really scared. It stays in my body, and then it stays in my body all throughout the day because I'm naturally, let's say, for example,
it makes a cozy wee home.
Yes.
And then it can go into the immune system. It can give you injuries. But you do breath work, so you breathe it out.
Very true. But the worst thing that could happen, this is why weekly exfoliation of built up stress is so important, especially in a breathwork shed, is because if I came home that night, I've still got all this pent up either fear or rage simultaneously in my body. Siobhan says, how was your day or something, or let's just say I trip over a pair of shoes or something, and I just have a massive go at you for seemingly out of nowhere. Yeah. It's got nothing to do with the shoes, despite the fact they could be like a minor inconvenience. I've let all of that stress out that was built up from the morning when that guy nearly hit my car, and I've let it all out on you. Like, that can ruin relationships if that happens more often than not. Yeah, well,
that's why your mind should be like as important as your body. Like, people go to the gym like 5-6 times a week. It's like, cool, well, what do you do for your mind? Like, meditate, go out in nature, like, you know, hang out with friends, you know, feed a group. There's loads of different things, but what are you doing? I don't even get how people don't prioritize their mind.
I know, it's the most important thing. Yeah, sense of self and awareness.
Yeah, anyway, that's why I've created the shed and you've got my mate counselling, because we're like, you've got to fucking train your mind.
I know, absolutely.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's, and even like, I mean, because obviously the body-mind connection, the vagus nerve, Stephen Porges,
Yes.
that sort of stuff. That's real, but you have to know the mind to know how to train the body. Because everyone says, we used to be CrossFit coaches for years and years and years.
Oh my God.
And everyone would say, oh, it's just a good way for me to release stress. You're doing the opposite.
They're opposite.
You're literally putting on more stress.
Or I've got to get fit before I can do it.
Yeah. How do you think you get fit?
Yeah,
I want to attain peace of mind before I start meditating.
Yeah. I want to get really calm before I meditate.
We could do this for a long time.
I know, let's just.
But one more, for example, is.
No, wait, one more.
I want to deal with my trauma before I try breath work.
Oh yeah. Breathwork is perfect for people that say they can't meditate, by the way. Because the amount of times I'm like, I hear people, I can't meditate. This is actual work, and you do the breath pattern. You work for the 30 minutes doing the breath. So it's up to you to and that just relaxes you.
Absolutely, yeah. And you don't, like we said in the show, you don't have to have, having studied it,
You don't have to have what?
We both know that trauma is a subjective thing, that there have been things in everyone's moment that has skewed their perception of themselves and their reality.
Oh, of course.
So, depending on what word you want to call that, those experiences were traumatic, but you don't necessarily need to have had a traumatic experience to do breath work. It's more, I would say, it's probably more important for the weekly exfoliation thing, the daily stress release, the weekly stress relief. Get it out of your system so that you're not projecting, and you're just on top of yourself.
You just feel so fucking good.
Yeah.
It is the best feeling ever post breath work, and all the people that have done breath work with me said the same thing.
The post breath work glow.
Oh, it's the best, and it just makes your face drop, and
Anyway. It's so good.
Anyway, in terms of business stuff, what's the next plan?
Well, it's this podcast, my dearest partner, Siobhan. I'm really enjoying this podcast. I think you and I have been wanting to do this for a very long time.
I know. Well, you've been telling me to do one for ages, and I was like, no, it's just not my thing. And then you're like, why don't we do it together?
No, we should. I think we're both interested in similar things. Our conversations, obviously, otherwise we would be going out with each other. Yeah. We think are very interesting. We're interested in the mind, and we're always learning something from each other. And we thought it would be good to, give that back to people as well. And we also thought it would be really cool to take people on a journey as we build our businesses.
So they know where we're starting. Because the shed is 4 months old.
Yeah.
And my mate counselling is
probably around the same time, 5 months.
Really? Shit.
Yeah.
So we started about the same time.
About the same time. Yeah.
Wow.
You forced me to start it. Well,
did I?
You deeply encouraged me to. Yeah.
Probably.
Well, I got the business entity, the business name first, and all that sort of stuff. And then because you were like, I'm jumping in, I'm just do this shit. And I'm like, oh, that's sick.
I'm signing a lease.
Yeah, exactly. But it's fun. That it's happening. We've just started everything. It's really early. It'd be so exciting to look back on all this in a couple of years' time, and have a think about hopefully where we could be, which is getting goals.
We'll have bigger coffee cups and bigger signs.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
but it's also cool in terms of the business stuff to document it along the way, so that we can show people what worked and what didn't work. Like we're trying Facebook groups at the moment. We're doing lots of different content creation with marketing, podcasts. So this
is me pre-memberships.
Yes.
Might not work. And this is you doing virtual, going into your.
This is pre-consulting. This is pre-consulting, which I want to move into as well.
Go back and see.
Yeah, I know.
And for everyone else to follow along, I guess, because if you're out there wanting to start a business, fucking do it.
Absolutely.
Do it. This is your sign. Take the leap.
Well, it doesn't have to be a business. It's just anything that you want to do that you maybe haven't yet done. We say business because
that's what we did.
That worked for us.
That's what we wanted, I should say.
But if you want to do any creative venture,
book writing,
anything, that's
singing.
A potential business, because you can then market it with a social media app and then sell it so that you can do it more often than not. Because this is what's fascinating. This is something that we were discussing today, is those incredible entrepreneurs out there always talk about how you shouldn't work for money, you should make money work for you. And then the way I see that as you don't figure out how much money you need or how much money you're going to get and then try to find the job that serves that purpose. You think about the life you want to have and then you think about how you can make money living that life.
Your ideal day.
Exactly.
That should be another. That could be.
We
nice
will do
podcast.
that for sure. That's
Definitely.
so important for
It's a
us.
good one.
Yeah, the ideal day, and that's what we will do. We love spending time together,
Yeah.
and we love drinking coffee
Yeah.
and
That's
chatting
a good
about
podcast.
business, life, and psychology.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we thought it'd be really fun to start us off.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool. All right. Any housekeeping things, Bon? Things need mentioning?
No, just if you got any kind of golden nuggets from it, or liked anything, or didn't, tell us.
Yes.
Want us to talk about more about something, or dive deep into something, let us know. And we're so open for people to have conversation starters or topics. Yeah, and just subscribe. Follow along.
We would love it if you did have questions that you'd send them to us, and then we can do a Q&A podcast episode once a month or something, and then just answer the questions that you guys want answered. They can be about anything, about things that we're learning in the entrepreneurial journey, things that we've learnt in the psychology space, trauma, counselling over here, anxiety, depression, that sort of stuff. We find that stuff very interesting because it's humanity.
Yeah, love it.
Cool. Till next time, guys.
Thanks for listening. Mwah.